If I had a quarter for every single SmackDown that I've reviewed on the quarter ratings, I'd probably be a billionaire. But we're here for the big 12th of July 2024 edition of the show of SmackDown. We brought you the ratings, now it's time for the quarter ratings. Of course, SmackDown is actually tonight, but you know what? Folk Wrestling's only getting around to the quarter ratings for last week's show today. And in quarter one, we kicked off with 2,346,000 with a 0.66 in the 18 to 49. So, boom, we're starting high. That's 868 people in that demographic. And in terms of what quarter one had, we had from 8 o'clock to 8:15, Money in the Bank recap, Tiffany Stratton, Bayley, Nia Jax, live promo with Michin. So, right, I mean, it's a pretty poor way to start the show. The promo didn't make much sense, you know. We get Nia Jax calling out Bayley for being a bit big, BBL or BLL, or whatever the hell she called her, right? Butt implants, all that stuff. It's like, yeah, look at my Nia Jax, maybe look in the mirror. But, you know, the start to SmackDown is actually that bad. You would expect it to go up. As we go into quarter two, it's actually down 1%. They lost about 15,000 viewers. You had a Money in the Bank recap, Chelsea Green, Piper Niven backstage, a match between Michin and Nia Jax. Tiffany Stratton and Bayley were out there, and Solo Sikoa cut a promo right at the end of the quarter. Now, I actually saw an increase in the 18 to 49 by 3%. It went up 25,000. But again, I mean, like the first half an hour of this show was pretty much only women. As we go into quarter three, we lose another 1%. But in terms of viewers, it's actually 24,000. It continues with 0.68. It keeps increasing in the 18 to 49, which is just bizarre. We had a Money in the Bank recap of the men's, where Andrade, Carmelo Hayes, Angle, Paul Cruz and Baron Corbin against Legado del Fantasma. How this rating is holding up, I have no idea. Because, I mean, you look at this show and you think, there's just a lot of fucking jobbers on it. Then we go into quarter four, which had 2.348 million. That was an increase of 2%, up quite a lot, up 41,000. And then it went up 2% in the 18 to 49, up to 918,000 viewers in the 18 to 49 demographic. And the quarter consisted of Apollo Crews, Baron Corbin taking on Legado del Fantasma, continuing. Pretty Deadly, Chelsea Green, Piper Niven had a backstage segment. Then we had Cody Rhodes and Randy Orton backstage as LA Knight came out to cut his promo, which continued into the start of R2, as we had from 9 o'clock to 9:15 in quarter five. LA Knight live promo continues. Blair Davenport video and John Cena video with a Naomi Davenport match, which would continue into the next quarter. But this did 2,411,000 viewers, up 3%. As the 18 to 49 did a 0.73, which was at 963,000 viewers, up 5%. So, you know, apart from losing a couple in quarter two and three, everything in the quarters and the overall in the 18 to 49 is just on the up. So it's a very strong SmackDown in terms of ratings, but as we get into quarter six, this is where things take a nosedive. Is it because it was all women? Probably. I mean, who wants to watch Naomi Blair Davenport, man? I mean, come on. Let's be truthful about it. There's a fucking reason why this didn't draw. There's a reason why this didn't do well. You throw these two in here, their match continuing for over 2 quarters. You throw in all the women, and then, you know, the only men that you're getting is Pretty Deadly, and you know what? If you wanted to consider them women, I wouldn't completely disagree with your opinion on the matter. But they lost 6%. It went down to 2,274,000 views with a 0.70 in the 18 to 49. It lost 5% in the 18 to 49, therefore. But then as we go into quarter 7, which featured DIY against A-Town Down and a post-match beatdown with Jacob Fatu, it actually went up 4%. They gained about 80-odd thousand viewers here with 2,358,000, so an increase of 4%. As for the 18 to 49, it went up 3% with 946,000 people with a 0.72. And then, guys, we are saving the peak rating and the peak 18 to 49 for last. In the quarter 8, 9:45 to 10 o'clock, we had the Solo Sikoa, Cody Rhodes live promo, Angle with the Bloodline, of course, the beatdown to Randy Orton. Cody Rhodes held up in the ropes. No, don't you tag. Don't you better, son of a plumber. Don't you better, my former legacy teammate Randy Orton. This did 2,461,000 viewers with an increase of 4%. Then, in the 18 to 49, it did a 0.77, so 1,011,000 viewers. I tell you what, that must be one of the highest 18 to 49s that WWE's did in a while. Maybe I'm living under a rock, but it's very rare that you see an 18 to 49 on a wrestling show do over 1 million. I mean, Dynamite can't do 1 million overall. I mean, it hasn't done 1 million overall, and it feels like donkey years, so it is what it is. But that was an increase of 7% in the 18 to 49. And you know what? We've buried Cody Rhodes, we've buried this new version of the Bloodline, but at the end of the day, they're bringing in the ratings, they're bringing in the clips, they're bringing in a lot. I mean, you can't fucking deny it. You can't tell me, you can't sit here and pretend that, you know, the views aren't delivering. It's the same way MJF on Dynamite recently. You know, we gave him a lot of slack, but then, you know, him and Ospreay maintained the rating throughout. So it just shows you, you know, Fog Wrestling ain't always right, but we're not, none of that. Oh, a broken clock is right twice a day, Pish. Absolutely not. But just to confirm it, the show did 2.355 overall with a 0.7 in the 1849, which for me is a very good rating. But anyway, 927,000 viewers, by the way. But anyway, that's your quarter ratings breakdown. We'll be back soon with some Raw and NXT. There'll be a SmackDown preview later on tonight as well. So until next time, leave your thoughts down below, and peace.